Hey everyone, welcome to the voboss podcast. I'm your host, Ann Ganguza, and today I am so excited and pumped to have the Comet Casino team here with us. Special guests, Scott and Miranda Parkin. You guys, welcome to the show. Thank you so much. Yay!
Detective Anna, thank you so much for having me. You were an early supporter of this. You
Yes,
gave merch on your show. You donated money, and now we're in the pitch phase. So we really owe a great debt of gratitude to the VO boss.
Well,
yeah, seriously.
Thank you. I mean, it's not hard to support and love what you guys are doing. So for those bosses out there who may not be familiar with the famous Comet Casino team, I thought we would start with a little bit of an introduction of each of you so that the bosses can get to know you a little bit better. So let's start with Scott, because he's older.
A lot older.
And so Scott, I mean, actor, amazing improv instructor, voice actor, I mean, everything. Tell us how you got started in the industry and, where it's going. And your life.
I was born in
And your social security number.
Yes.
No, that's horrible. That's horrible advice. I'm from Sacramento, California. And I started in radio when I was in college. I interned at KZAP, the home of rock. When I was just about around 20, 18, 19, in that sort of range, I was able to weasel my way on the air with a guy named Kevin Anderson. He got fired, but he made a tape of the time we were together, sent it to Tulsa, Oklahoma. They had us come out for an audition. They asked me if I'd ever been to Oklahoma, and at the time I said, the furthest east I've been is the Nevada side of Heavenly Valley, dude. And that is literally how we all spoke in Northern California. Mm-hmm. It's a little more like this, like, are you going to put change on your car before you go to Tahoe?
NorCal.
We went out there. We went out there to Oklahoma and did that, and then I got fired again, came back to Sacramento, got a gig in Dallas, was there for 11 years. Got married, moved to Los Angeles in, I want to say 98. Mm-hmm. Had a kid in 2000, got divorced in 2003, and done voiceover and writing for television and acting in any possible way. I always say you got to hit it from every angle possible. So I'll do most of the stuff that they'll pay creative-wise. So, yeah, and Miranda's been raised on TV sets and in voiceover lobbies and all that, and she started in the business when she was about 5. So,
well, crazy.
Yeah. So Miranda, let's talk about that because you did grow up in the business. I'm so excited again to actually see you and talk with you. And so tell us how you kind of got started. And was this something that, because you were around it, for all the time when you were small, is it something that you loved right away or did you kind of grow into it?
Well, I mean, I feel like I loved it first because I was like, oh, I just really love reading. Like, I love reading out loud. Like, that is so much fun. Shut up.
That was me too.
Yeah.
I liked reading out loud. So when they were like, hey, do you want to read this thing out loud? Little 5-year-old. And I was like, yeah, of course I want to read that thing out loud. So I did. And then I was like, oh, they like it when I do that. That's cool. I like that. I was 5, so I was, I didn't really know, but it just made me feel happy, like I've always loved reading out loud. And then it turned into like kind of and then I got paid to talk about SeaWorld. And I'm like, I love animals and I love talking about whales. Like,
now, was this when you were 5 or a little bit later on?
A little bit later on, because I started when I was 5 and then it was kind of went until 8 or 9. I think 9 was when I got the
hammer got dropped.
Yeah, I got the job of Lucy in a direct-to-DVD Peanuts movie, and my mom was like, "No, you can't do that." So I was like, "Oh, all right." I really like reading out loud. I really like the Peanuts, but
her dad was a voiceover actor, and anything that had something to do with me was
Well, okay, so there's the 6 degrees here, I think, because you said Lucy, right? You read for
right.
Okay, so my maiden name is Lucy. Okay.
Is that true?
Yes, it's very true. It's very because people called me Miss Lucy when I was a teacher, and then they would sing,
cute.
Miss Lucy had a steamboat, the steamboat had a bell. Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
exactly.
I forgot you were a teacher. My mom was a teacher for 35 years. I have so many teachers throughout our family.
Well, I mean, it just, so that's number one. And number two is that when I was young, when I was about, 6, when I was in kindergarten, I loved to read out loud as well. And here's where my claim to fame, my creative claim to fame, is that I wrote books. I wrote books about Nibbles the rabbit. And as a kindergartner, I read them to the first graders. So
Really?
now that's my claim to fame.
That's
I mean,
kind of a power move.
I mean, so Miranda, if I could only be half as good and I illustrated and wrote, and you know what I mean, which is, I mean,
that's incredible. That's amazing.
You do everything. And so I just think it's, again, I feel like the apple doesn't far fall from the tree there, I think. There's writer, artist, voice actor.
I can't draw a stick figure without help. So that part is all
true.
developed.
He can draw a palm tree and a lightning bolt.
There you
And
go.
I can draw an oak tree, too.
And an oak tree.
Yeah,
Sorry, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
One of the 3.
Well, I got good at drawing a rabbit as a kindergarten, but other than that, it's kind of where it stopped. Although I always was in awe of people who could draw. And so let's talk before I want to actually talk about Comet Casino, because that's really why I wanted to bring you here, so that we can talk about the whole process, because bosses out there, if you're listening, like the whole concept of Comet Casino is boss from start to as it evolves, because you've encompassed all areas of the creative arts, all areas of funding, of marketing, of starting something and seeing it grow and seeing it evolve. So I love the evolution of Comet Casino. So before we do that, let me show the bosses a little preview of what we have here. So let's do this first.
Can we set it up real quick?
Yeah, we're going to set it up right now.
This is not a trailer. There's no voiceover or anything like that. This is the first 90 seconds of the pilot, and the shuttle attendant is the lovely Gray Delisle Griffin, and we love it. And so you get an idea of where our story takes place, who are the principals, and what's going on in the first 90 seconds. The whole pilot presentation is just over 10 minutes. There you go.
Yeah, there we go.
All right, we're going to give you guys the first 90 seconds. All right, here we go. And
attention passengers, we will be landing shortly on Luperith Omari. Please return to your seats. If you've morphed during the flight, please regenerate and buckle up, okay? And remember, as long as you look like you're gambling, they gotta keep bringing you drinks. Good luck.
Luperith Omari. Everybody knows it as the Loop, the #1 adult playground in the galaxy, and the armpit of the fucking universe. Everyone is thrilled when they get here and broke and disillusioned when they leave. That's just after a weekend. I spent the first 18 years of my life here.
On the Loop, after high school, you pretty much have 3 choices: bartending school, dealer school, or alcoholic gambler. I wanted something more, so I went to law school on the nearest planet. After graduation, I took a really good job as a defense attorney. It's difficult and none of it comes easy, but it's somewhere else, and that's all that matters. So, what am I doing back here? My dad, owner of the formerly luxurious Comet Casino, passed away. How? He just stopped breathing while a guy was choking him to death, which on the Loop is considered natural causes.
The Loop is 100 miles of casinos, clubs, and general debauchery crammed into a thin band of oxygen. Everything else is toxic.
My dad used to drop off associates in the desert when it was time for them to die of natural causes.
Awesome. I love it. And can I tell you that, honestly, when I first heard it, the story, I love the beginning, right? With the introduction. But Miranda, when you start telling the story, I teach like storytelling to, students for years, and you have such a beautiful, wonderful presentation of storytelling in that. Like, it is so damn impressive. I mean,
hey, I used to love reading stories out loud. Now I do it. Now I do it all the time.
And if Scott knows me, I don't say that lightly. I love the performance. Yeah,
I was very, very. This whole thing. This has been 2 years in the making, and we directed all these legends who are friends of ours and have always supported Miranda. And if Miranda wasn't able to hold their own with these legends, it doesn't work. The whole thing, all of what we've done, it just doesn't work. So
that was one thing that I got scared about. Like, I know, literally, like after we like got all these people to do it, and they were like, "All right, now it's time to record your part," and I'm like, "Oh, I have to go up against these. Oh my God. Not go up against, but like work with, like be in the same cartoon as." And I'm like, oh my God, that's like a dream come true, regardless of where this thing goes.
Yes. And frightening as hell. Same for me.
And frightening.
Miranda does video games and animation. I don't do so much of either of those. So after asking these people and then having to, what was really cool was that we recorded our parts at Soundbox LA with Tim Freelander. Yep. So first, Miranda and Tim directed me, and then we switched, and Tim and I directed Miranda. So it was really cool, and he's been so supportive and known Miranda for a very long time. So that was it was just really cool to do our parts at Tim's with Tim directing.
Yeah, but like, because he's such a good friend and such a great dude, and he supported it all the way through. It was just, it just seemed like a natural fit.
Yeah.
Well, so let's talk about how did it all start?
Ooh, I've got this one.
Keep it tight and bright.
Okay. So essentially, it started as an FBI agent gets teleported into space and works off her debt at a space casino. So that was like our initial idea. And I wanted to do something.
That was Miranda's, all Miranda's initial idea.
Yeah. And then I was like, okay, well, the FBI thing is kind of silly, stupid. Let's just go with a mother-daughter story about a girl that actually lives in the casino and went to the casino and like lived at the casino, and her mom was the boss and she had to come back. And then we were just like, okay, let's cut the mom because I don't know how to tell a mother-daughter story. I know how to tell a father-daughter story. So let's make it a father-daughter story about dysfunctional...
Miranda, you have to be honest. Ed Yeager, our head writer and 23-year veteran television writer, came in and said, I'm killing the mom. There's no story there. It's a father-daughter story. And it's really it's all about the daughter.
Right.
Yeah.
Going away, wanting to get the hell out of home, and then having to come back and then finding out that, you know what? I hate this place, but I work here. It works. I have a connection here, and I'm really good at what all the jobs I'm doing. And so she finds, it's the Joan Didion, you can't go home, but maybe you can kind of thing. Does that make sense?
See, the thing is, like, at the beginning of it, like, it just kind of, it morphed and switched, but I always wanted to make it a space casino.
Yeah.
Always.
Always wanted to.
So,
yeah.
But then let me backtrack here. So you're telling me the beginnings of the story, but what's the beginnings of the idea, Miranda? Was it something that you said, I want to create? Like, okay, so not many people in this industry, and I know bosses out there. I mean, this is the whole enchilada. This is the writing, the art, right? The artistry, the production, the casting. So did you just one day say, I want to make a show? Like,
it was more like I started drawing.
We pitch ideas back and forth and have written a bunch of stuff. But Miranda always said that whenever they go animated shows, they have an episode at a casino. But I forget how you said it, Em. I'm sorry.
So, like, in a lot of sci-fi media, there's always, like, a one-off episode with a casino. Like, in Cowboy Bebop, there's a one-off episode with a space casino. In Star Wars, they go to a space casino in one of the newest Star Wars movies. And in, like, Rick and Morty, they go to a Dave & Buster's type thing called Blips and Shits. And I'm just like, why don't you stay there? There's so much potential. You have beings from all over the galaxy. You have convention people that go to Vegas for conventions.
Yeah.
You've got people that go to Vegas in sororities. You have gangsters and mobsters and bachelor parties.
I love it.
Corporate convention. They're always bringing different people. And if you put it out in space 200 years in the future,
sure,
who the hell knows what's
right?
And so many stories.
Yeah.
I mean,
Totally.
I think so many stories can evolve from that. So there's longevity there.
That's the hope. The other thing we really liked was the found family, because it's just, Miranda's was at my house from age 16 on solo and moved out 2 years ago. So big on found family, we always had at my house growing up, there was always an extra person, somebody that just got divorced or some teenager who'd been kicked out of their house. So we're big on found family. And a found family is such a lovely story. You can take it in so many different directions. And in Miranda's situation, it's right here, found family.
But also it's relatable to everyone, like whether you have a good relationship with your parents or not, you always have friends, friends are the family that you choose. I know it's cheesy, but, like everyone can relate to it. Everyone has a friend that you feel like you're a sibling,
So then you had this idea that you wanted to do this. The two of you were bouncing ideas, and then you said, "Yes, this sounds amazing. Let's get a writer." Like, what happened after that?
Yes,
get a writer involved.
I think like I said, we've had multiple ideas, and I think they're very solid ideas. But Miranda is a voracious performer and artist. They like to keep going and going and going. So if we didn't get something with legs on it early, it got set aside, and fan art and something else, or voiceover, or her life just, got in. But this was much more substantial, and it has something that Miranda really likes is retrofuturism and 50s.
Like mid-century modern atomic age type stuff, Jetson style.
Yeah, absolutely.
That they really enjoy drawing. So it was very inspirational. And then I showed it to my buddy Ed. We have made a little video presentation. And it's 1,000 degrees different than the thing that we first made. But he goes, "This is great." We showed it to Swampy Marsh, the creator of Phineas and Ferb, who's sort of Miranda's mentor and my good friend. And then we all got together with a couple of the writers from Gary Unmarried, that show my buddy Ed wrote about my life that was on CBS, and other writers that I'd worked with on their pilots. And we all got in a room and sort of hammered out a thing. And then, the found family thing, or how each of the employees used to work at the casino as a crooner or a fighter or something like that, and now the old man, me, has hired them to work on the thing because they're no longer viable as performers. So we had that, and then Ed just took it off and built this great, daughter goes away and comes back to save the found family sort of thing. And
it was so well done and well written. And, obviously, we pitched on jokes, and I would be like, "Oh, this character probably wouldn't say that," or, this and that. But most of it was Ed, really. He just brought this huge heart to it.
Ed started on Roseanne and worked on Dharma and Greg and so many great shows that, and I was a joke guy. So, we were able to make the jokes crackle. And then you just crank it down until it's tight. And then we hired Swampy Marsh and Bernie Pedersen at Surfer Jack to do the staging animatics. So each time they go through, it's single line, really rudimentary, but it gives you a good idea of where everyone's going and what it will look like. I think they did 4 passes there. They hired Miranda to work on small projects. So Miranda got to work on her own pilot there. And then I think after we had our thank you party last summer at Tim's, Miranda said, "I want it all to be, I have so many ideas. I want more characters. I want some different backgrounds. This would be funnier if it shot from above, blah, blah, blah." And so Miranda said, "I want to do all of this." So she redid everything. And so every frame you see in the thing is her characters, her background. A couple backgrounds we hired her roommate Lauren to do. It was really wonderful stuff, but almost all of it is Miranda's vision. So there you go.
That's
and then, we laid in all the sound. Tim West at Rebel Alliances donated, hours and hours and hours of time. So the sound design is really good. Adam Gubman, Miranda, you can talk about.
Yeah, he's a Disney composer. He does like all the music for the Star Wars land rides and Amphibia, and he's worked on Greatest Showman and all these things. And I did a lot of work with him during the lockdown, and he had this like musical project, and I was able to do some animatics for him. And then after that, we kept in contact, and then he was like, if you don't let me do the music for Comet Casino, I will be very sad. If you don't let me just do it,
So,
and I was like,
the score is just rock.
of course. And he had all these like great kind of almost hotel lobby tracks from like a Star Wars thing that he worked on. And he's just like, I can tweak this and do this. And I'm like, that is so cool. It was crazy.
So a few things that I want to point out to the bosses out there, because again, I think a lot of us, a lot of people that listen to the VO Boss podcast, they're thinking very much in just voiceover. And again, the scope of this project is so amazing, and I'm hearing a couple of things that just keep coming back to me. Number one is having a great network, right?
Yes.
And, having a wonderful team to help put this together. And so I think that networking is such an important thing, to have a successful,
Without it, this wouldn't exist.
Yeah.
I called in and asked every favor I had to get us to this point.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
And believe listen, I don't like constantly work for free, but I work with friends and things I like, and everyone liked it. All these people that are in this: Maurice LaMarche, Billy West, Tara Strong, Lorraine Newman, Mindy Sterling.
Oh, crazy.
Greg Griffin, yeah.
All of them have known Miranda since about 3 years old, because I was asked to be divorced when Miranda was 3. So I had her with me, and they all sort of watched her grow up and watched her. So when I said, hey, you guys, this is what we're doing, would you be willing? And they all said some version of, yeah, absolutely. Tara Strong's like, just tell me where to talk. So we called it, and they didn't owe me anything, but we asked favors.
And one thing is that I was so happy about is that, they've always been to me, because we're, a lot of us are at the same agency. So like, from, being a kid, they've always, like, not a kid, but like, in my 20s, early teenage years, they were always like, if you make something, put me in it, please. So,
true.
And then we finally followed through with an idea, and now it's like, I can do that. I can ask these people, and they'll say yes. And that's just such a great feeling to have such a great support network of all these incredible, talented people. I'm really honored.
And Miranda designed each of the characters for each of those actors. So the Aunt Maisie was designed for Tara Strong. Gary Anthony Williams is Hendrix. So that's kind of a cool thing too. But you definitely have to be willing to work with. I mean, I've worked on so many pilots that got shot and didn't go to air, didn't get to air. I don't get any money from that. I just get the experience writing and supporting. Well, so when I have something, I call those guys, and they're like, let's get together and write this.
So then yet another thing that I want to talk about that I think is so important in the development of this is, so you're still pursuing this, you're still getting funding for this. And so that
we just started this phase.
Yeah, right.
It's taken 2 years to get up to that.
Yeah. And I think that there's something to be said for the level of commitment, obviously, that you have to have for this to become, I mean, in my brain, there's no way that it can't not be successful for you guys. I mean, that's the way I feel. I mean, I don't know. I
honestly think it's successful already. Yeah. I am just, I'm happy to be involved with these incredible people. I'm happy to have this part of my, my portfolio, and I'm happy to get this art in front of, people who work in amazing studios. Like all these studio people are going to be seeing my art. So that was like the goal from early on, was to get my art in front of studios, and whether it gets made or not, it's just a step in the right direction regardless.
The beginning premise was to get experience at storyboarding, character design, and backgrounds. So when we hired Surfer Jack, the idea was that Miranda would sit on Bernie's shoulder and watch him staging storyboard. But then Swampy screwed that up by hiring Miranda before they even started on the pilot to be head of small projects there. So the idea was to get all of her stuff in front of as many people as possible. And since we because of Ed, his theatrical representation is APA, they saw that 90-second trailer and called us in for a strategy meeting. So now we're actually represented by APA.
Love it.
Massive. I mean, I don't know, you know, you know what I mean? I'm a little showbiz adjacent, but they represent people like 50 Cent and Mark Ruffalo, you know, that kind of people. So now next week, the pilot goes out to every animation studio and every streaming service.
Wow.
With full support of the head of animation at APA, and they'll bug them to watch it and then hopefully take a meeting. So, you know, but we already won because all of that stuff is in front of them. And Miranda did. By the way, she's like in my early 20s. These are your early 20s. You're 22 until next week. You know.
Yeah.
That's phenomenal. I mean, I love that you, Miranda, I love that you said that it's already a success, because it truly is in my eyes. And that's why I feel like I feel like it can't be anything but a success already. I've seen it evolve. I've seen it progress. And to me, I'm in awe. I think it's amazing. I love the evolution. I love the whole creative process. And I think that it would help bosses to maybe wrap their heads around the whole production process of a creative project, because I think it will help us to become better actors, become better business people, understanding the networking that you guys are going through, you know, and the process to get this produced and get this out and see if, you know, it's like a big, huge audition.
It is. Right? The other thing is, I told you, I don't book animation. So what we did was build a pilot and write ourselves into the pilot. So if I book animation, it'll likely be something that we wrote and ran through. So, you know, I think that's a really important thing for anybody getting into it. Don't wait to be asked to the dance.
Yeah.
Get out there and start dancing.
I also think like it's there's the thing about networking that you said, like Swampy, a friend of ours, like you never know who you're going to meet, or who's going to hire you, or who's going to be your friend and let you work on their project or whatever. Cause like, you know, I hired my roommate to work on some of the backgrounds for Comet, and, you know, it's like the networking is so important in this industry, especially with animation the way that it is right now, because animation is very weird and not an incredible industry to get into right now, because everything is very up in the air. So I honestly...
What do you mean not a great industry? Do you mean it's uncertain?
Yeah, it's very uncertain, and
like
there's lots of things.
And acting and,
no, but like animation in particular, a lot of animated projects are getting canned. Like they took so much off of HBO Max and Netflix, like all these animated projects on Netflix.
That happens in every facet of the entertainment industry.
Right. That's true.
Ebb and flow.
It's building your house on mud and hoping for the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, like you just never know who is going to hire you. No, you never know who you're going to, who's going to be part of your story next. So
it's also a good reason to be nice to everybody.
Exactly. It costs some money.
Because you never know. And that's why I always say, hey, people, I know we're represented by an agency, but please if I sent you the pilot and said, hey, send it to creators that you know, it's always great when something comes to the same point from different directions.
Sure,
right.
Absolutely.
Oh, this is the pilot. Oh, this is the guy that the Apple guy sent me this. So I believe you gotta get as many lines in the water as you can.
Absolutely. And that networking completely helps that. And I think that it's just something that's so important for us to know as we progress in this industry, because this industry is uncertain, voice acting. Oh my gosh.
Also, the other thing is Miranda's not stopping. Yeah. She's doing Comet art for the pitch deck. Should we get the meeting, you know, I feel confident people are going to say, hey, come in. We like it. We'd like to chat. She's doing that, but she's also prepping a bunch of stuff to submit for Smiling Friends. She just had a meeting with the storyboard director from Mitchell's and the Machines. So it's not, you can't just go, well, we got our pilot.
Yeah.
Let's just sit back and let the money roll in.
Not over till it's over.
Yeah.
It's not over.
It doesn't start till it starts. That's
I like
Yeah.
that one. I
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, I love it. So now what's the next, is that something I'm hearing? By the way, just curious. Do you hear that? Is there
Is
a
that
fan?
your place, Miranda? Is that like a motor or something?
Might be my fridge.
It sounds like, no, that can't be your fridge. That's like a loud ambient motor.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not oppressive. It just sounds like
Yeah,
there's
no.
an air conditioner on or something.
That's
It's
okay.
It's all right.
That's all right because the content is so important. We'll just have to we'll just talk over that.
What?
Yeah. Huh?
I can talk. How's Jerry, Anna, real quick?
Oh, Jerry's doing amazing. He's doing amazing. Yes,
He saved
absolutely.
us in Barcelona. Without Jerry, we would probably still be in Spain, not
Oh
knowing
my
where
gosh.
Not
That was
knowing
that
where we were
thing?
going. Yes,
we called
exactly.
it the GPS. You can drop him anywhere and he'll get us out.
Right?
Of
Yeah, Jerry.
Yeah.
Jerry will take care of it.
Yeah.
Yes, he absolutely. He's doing wonderful. Thank you. Now, let me ask you, Comet Casino. What's next? What's the next step?
Next
week. Yeah.
Well, Miranda's doing art for the pitch deck. Hopefully, we get it goes out to all the stupid buddies, the titmouses, the
Bento boxes, the Tornantes, the
Oh, we
20th
got
Century
started.
Fox.
It's going to go out to every relevant animation company and every streamer, Amazon, Apple TV Plus, all of those. And we clear our schedule because we'll be just meeting so many people and having a bidding war on the Comet Casino.
There you go.
That's how I
One
see
would hope.
That's
One would hope.
Did you get one of these, Anna?
I did not get a bag.
We want to send you a bag as a gift from the Comet Casino.
I love it. Tell
And
me.
we'll put one of the lucky chips in there too.
Oh, I love
I
that.
always keep them in my pocket when I audition, and I booked 3 commercials with one of these in my
Well,
pocket.
thank you.
Chicken
Absolutely.
Kipper. I
So
love that cat.
So let me ask you guys before we go, first of all, how can somebody buy merch? Comet Casino merch, where do they go?
They go to the Comet Casino gift shop, and it's the first thing that comes up on Google. I'll also send you the link so you can put it in the description
Perfect.
of whatever podcast.
The Comet Casino gift shop. And guys, I have a few things. I have a few things from the Comet Casino, but I
boy.
do not have a bag, so I
We
would
will
love
send
that.
you
We will send you a bag.
Airline bag. It
Why,
has the
thank
cool,
you.
It's got the cool thing where you put the cardboard in the bottom. They put the
I
hard
love it.
plastic in the bottom.
I love it.
And then we still have a bunch of shirts. We don't have a lot of stuff. We got hit pretty hard. Oh, we do have some of these handmade pendants that are really, really cool. We only have, I think there's only 5 of those left.
Nice.
They're really, really, really stunning. You see that?
Awesome. Yep, I can
Isn't
see
that
it.
cool?
That's
Yeah,
very cool.
Our friend Lori Magno is this artisan in Boston, and she does all the little. It's just.
Oh, I love
really,
it.
really cool.
Aren't they so cool?
I love it. So Comet Casino gift shop.
Yes, indeed.
.com. And how can someone follow you, Miranda?
Oh, well, my Instagram is Parkin Art. Parkin Art. No spaces, no caps, no nothing, no underscores or dots or dits or numbers.
Perfect.
You can see me on a Tide commercial.
Yes.
And his Instagram.
Hang on, I forgot to say we just got these.
The prints.
We made.
yeah.
We made
the booklets.
We made comic books
Yeah,
with
buddy.
all the new concept art. They're 22 pages, and we just got these. There was a misprint. We got them to help with the pitch, and they did a misprint. So
Will you
we're
be signing?
We're signing. Yeah, Miranda will sign it. I'll sign it. It doesn't really matter that I sign it, but Miranda's going to sign it. And then if you get other cast members to sign it, you got
Ooh.
something there. So that'll
Very
be up on the
nice.
store here very quickly as well.
Very
and
nice.
Thank you so much. So sweet of you to have us on.
Thank you guys. It was amazing. So much fun. And I'm looking forward to interviewing you again after it gets picked up. And
Absolutely.
you guys.
And remember, we are voice actors first. And we have a very long memory. And we remember everybody that was so supportive and helpful. And believe me, we're going to be working hard. We don't know who's going to buy it or what the situation will be. They may buy it outright and tell us to go away. You know what I mean? So we have no idea what that looks like. But if we have any say in it, we're going to bring people in to audition. Everybody gets up to bat. We're going to write an any character. Spread the wealth. Your cat, this cat
love
is
it. And your cat wants to say hello. I love it. You know, I have 3 cats, so I'm all about that. Well, fantastic, guys. Thank you so much again. It was amazing. So much fun. Love what you're doing. And
thank you so much for having us on.
Absolutely.
You've been so supportive, Anna.
Oh,
you jumped on the bandwagon and gave away merch very early on. And this was an expensive proposal, right? Hiring an animation company to do 4 passes. And then paying. I was sending Miranda money to not take any other work while they worked on this thing. So it's really, really helpful to have such support. The main thing is it's just really fun to see the cool logo and all the great artwork.
Oh, yeah.
It's very nice.
Absolutely. All right. Well, bosses, here's your chance to use your voice to make an immediate difference in our world and give back to the communities that give to you. Besides giving to Comet Casino, you can go to 100voiceswhocare.org to find out more and commit. And also, big shout out to our sponsor, IPDTL. You too can connect and network like boxes. Find out more at ipdtl.com. You guys have an amazing week, and we will see you next week.
Great
Bye.
read, man. Great read.
Goodbye.